Hello everybody, today we are going to talk about the adverbs of frequency. But what are the adverbs of frequency? The adverbs of frequency are always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, hardly ever, and never. When do we use the adverbs of frequency? The adverbs of frequency are used to indicate how often we perform a certain activity or action. How can we use them? We can use them in different situations. Number one, when an adverb of frequency goes before a main verb, except with the verb to be. But what are the grammar structure about this? The grammar structure is subject plus adverb plus main verb. For example, I sometimes do my homework on Saturdays. Okay, in these sentences, at the beginning of the sentence, we have the personal pronouns I, and then we use the adverbs of frequency, and after the adverbs of frequency, we use the verb do. Okay? Number two, when an adverb of frequency goes after the verb to be, the grammar structure is subject plus verb to be plus adverb. For example, she is sometimes a good student. Okay? She is the personal pronouns, and then we have the verb to be, and after the verb to be, we use the adverb. In this case, is sometimes. Number three, when we use an auxiliary verb, for example, have, will, must, might, could, would, can, etc. The adverb is placed between the auxiliary and the main verb. This also true for verb to be. But what is the grammar structure about this? We have the subject plus auxiliary plus adverb plus main verb. For example, he can sometimes jump the rope. In this case, we have at the beginning of the sentence the subject, that is the personal pronoun he, then we have the auxiliary, in this case is can, and after this we have the auxiliary, the adverb of frequency, that is sometimes. Okay? Number four, we can also use the following adverbs at the beginning of a sentence. Usually, often, sometimes. For example, sometimes I like to eat Thai food. In this case, when we use the adverbs of frequency at the beginning of the sentence, after the adverbs of frequency, we have to use a comma. According to the number 4, we have to remember that we can't use the following adverbs of frequency at the beginning of a sentence. Always, rarely, hardly ever, and never. Remember, you can't use this adverbs of frequency always, rarely, hardly ever, and never at the beginning of a sentence. Okay? So, number 5. We use hardly ever and never with positive sentences, not negative sentences. For example, Sally hardly ever goes to my parties. He never says goodbye. Okay? Remember, we use hardly ever and never only in affirmative sentences, not in negative sentences. Okay? Number 6. We use ever in questions and negative statements. For example, I haven't ever been to Brazil. Okay? We use ever in negative and interrogative sentences. Now that we know about the adverbs of frequency and when we are going to use them, we have some examples that you can practice at home. For example, number 1, I always go to school from Monday to Friday. Number 2, you usually take a shower in the morning. Number 3, she rarely takes the bus very late. Number 4, he sometimes watches TV in the afternoon. Number 5, He isn't often in good humor. Number 6. We hardly ever go to the cinema in group. Number 7. Ignore eat vegetables. Okay? There are some examples about the adverbs of frequency. Remember, when we use the personal pronouns in the third singular person, for example, she, he, it, we don't have to modify the verb. You have to modify the verb because they are in the third singular person. Okay? Don't forget this. Okay? This is all for today, and we are going to see in the next class. Goodbye.